Hi, I'm Deborah Gruenberger, and I like to call myself the spark behind bold founders. For the past 25 years, I've been working with startups from every angle possible. Inside a startup, building, as a founder, creating my own, and most recently, as a startup investor, an angel investor, where I've also started mentoring the startups that I invest in. So I come to the entire startup world from every possible 360 view that you can imagine, which means that I have become very, very good at pitch decks. As a marketer and designer, which is my own business that I started many years ago, I have been designing and writing decks for decades. Then, with my investor hat on, I have started seeing what investors want to hear and what they're looking for before they say yes to a pitch. I've brought those different strands of knowledge together to coach founders on how to make a pitch deck that really lands and can get you from a no to a yes. Today, I want to share 3 tips, or rather the 3 fundamentals of what a investor is looking for when evaluating a pitch. My 3 secret ingredients are story, design, and data. Let's start with story. Investors invest in people, not just products or services. Of course, your business case is important. Of course, there is a list of slides that you must have in your deck in order to land investment. You have to talk about the product, the market. You have to explain the problem, the solution. But really, at the end of all of this, once you've talked about your business model, once you've talked about the timeline, the traction, the competition, really it boils down to you and who you are and your team. Are you the right people to execute? So, the whole time while pitching, keep that front and center. They want to meet a real human being who's presenting them with a real business. But don't forget the human. Don't forget the story. And the best way to do this is by starting with your why, the thing that made you start the business, the thing that makes you get up in the morning, day in and day out, to run the business, the thing that makes you want to scale it and bring it to the masses. That is what investors want to hear about. In addition, of course, to all the other important details, don't forget your humanity and don't forget that they invest in you at the end of all this. So that's story. Moving on, design. You don't need to be a professional designer, but design matters. Picture this, investors get hundreds, sometimes even thousands of decks sent to them a year. Sometimes they have a little junior looking through their email, scrolling through pitch decks, deciding which one will make it and which one won't. So if you don't think about the design of your deck, if you don't think about making the cover really compelling and attractive straight away so that they can immediately see what your business is proposing and making everything visually clear and continuous, you will lose just by not having an attractive enough deck. Nobody wants to have death by PowerPoint. Nobody wants to be overwhelmed with too much text, too much fluff, graphics all over the place, no visual consistency. So do bear in mind that the design needs to pop. And lastly, and this is so important, data. You've got the story, you've got the design. If you don't back it up with real numbers, then your pitch deck will fall flat. You have to prove that you've done research, market research, that you understand who your customer is, that you understand the numbers, the size of the opportunity, that you realistically know how much money it will take to break through the noise and to conquer the competition. So if you don't add real data, not just imagined stuff, don't say things like, we will make millions. Back it up. Back it up with research, primary and secondary research. Give the investor as much real data to believe that you mean what you say and you say what you mean. And that's it. If you combine story, design, and data into a compelling deck, then you have a winner. Remember, it's about getting from a no to a yes. And with the right mix in your pitch deck, you can get to that second meeting, the all-important meeting where you can dive deep.